I made it smart, you wouldn't get it.
If it was smart, you wouldn't like it.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan. And
And
Wednesday are my therapy days, so I dress up a little more for them.
It's like you're going to the Sadie Hawkins dance. I love it.
Thank you. I know I have to see my therapist after the show on Wednesdays. And like, I want her to think I look nice when I'm crying. You know?
You think she doesn't know better?
What?
You think she doesn't know better? You think she doesn't know that you get all cutesy just to cry?
If I'm gonna cry,
Mm-hmm.
I should look good while doing it.
Listen to me very carefully. There is no way to win therapy.
Disagree.
There is no way to win therapy. See, the thing is, we started saying I'm going to win therapy as a joke, and then the joke sort of became true again. Like, the initial joke was good because it poked a hole in the fact that we were all trying to win therapy.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going, and it turned back into its own thing where it's like, I'm joking, but I'm not.
I'm joking. But I don't know. Track the shows. I get a little more dressed up on Wednesdays. Look back. We do a show every Wednesday.
Folks, here's the thing. Ain't nothing going on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not here to lie to you.
I am.
Listen.
One of us always tells the truth, and one of us always lies. But like, you'd believe me more, right? Because of the like outfit.
Because of how cute. Because of how cute she got.
So it's probably him that lies.
I don't know. What would the other one say? That's what you gotta ask. You gotta ask, what would the other one say if I ask them, is there any exciting news today?
I would say there is news today.
That's what I'm saying. We're not here to lie to you. We're not here to lie to you, okay? If there were other news shows, and there aren't,
Yeah.
I would imagine that those other news shows would try to pretend like all news is equally big. Here's the thing. It's not. here's what's up.
There's a lot of little news.
That's a good move.
There's stuff. There's a place that we put the news that's full.
Oh, Flatlander73 says, what about a 10-minute show then? You have a nice long sugar breakfast after. That's thinking.
Speed run.
Speed run the news. It's very easy. What you want to do, listen, the RNG to speed run the news is particularly strong for us today. Everything is lined up for a new PB. That's all I'm saying. We could speed run the news so much today. We won't, though.
We will not.
Because
You're stuck with us.
Because here's the other thing. We won't lie to you, but we're going to give you the goddamn 90 minutes we promise you.
Realistically, because we always start a few minutes late, give you maybe 80.
Maybe 80.
Maybe we
Maybe
give you
80 for Brady.
Maybe we give you 80. I don't know.
I don't know. Look, there is news.
There is. The biggest of which being, well, what we thought would be the biggest of which being that there was a Pokemon Presents.
Yeah.
We love Pokemon Presents. We love Pokemon in this house. This happened yesterday.
What were the things that you were hoping for? Yeah, it happened yesterday. What were the things that you were hoping for out of this Pokemon Presents?
I was hoping for some big quality upgrades for Scarlet and Violet.
That's number one, right?
That was number one.
And you don't need to make a big deal out of it. We know Nintendo doesn't like to make a big deal out of our game used to be broken or our game didn't work and now we fixed it. They always spin it in a positive way.
Yeah, they'll add something that's a little more visual and aesthetic, and then they'll also be like, "Hey, and there's some patch fixes on there too."
We also have some quality of life updates. We we know that some players were experiencing this. That should be ironed out now. Boopity beep bop boop. They did not say shit about that.
No,
they didn't say much about anything really. I hope you enjoy Pokemon Cafe.
I truly want to talk about the Detective Pikachu trailer.
Now, the Detective Pikachu trailer, I think, was the biggest thing.
And how did you feel about it?
I liked it.
Interesting.
I liked it, but I don't know. Here's what I think. I think a lot of people are familiar with Detective Pikachu, the movie.
Uh-huh.
Did not play the original Detective Pikachu game.
Yeah.
And are going to look at this game and go, this looks all wrong.
Yeah.
This looks all wrong. But it looks like a sequel to the first one.
It does. It does look like that. It looks like a sequel to the first one from the time, though.
Oh, listen.
They didn't make a lot of like 2023 updates to this sequel.
No.
And I'm confused why.
They did not, Pikmin 4 this and go, we got to move to an all new engine. We got to add a lot of functionality. I think they're really playing on the fact that a lot of people did not play Detective Pikachu.
So then here's my question, because I think there are two options to go there. Now, I don't have nostalgia for Detective Pikachu. I have now dabbled in it, but I didn't play it at the time.
Sure.
What year did Detective Pikachu come out?
I don't know, 1973.
Let's find out, Anthony.
It's the year 1884. I don't know.
No, I want to watch, what's that one?
This is Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I want to watch that with sound.
Oh, okay.
I think it's important.
Sure.
Game, it's telling me when the movie came out. I think it's important to hear it.
2016.
Okay. So, well, that was already Returns. I don't know. That's wild. Okay.
Came out in 2016.
Let's watch this together as a family.
All right.
I hold on. Why not together as a family?
Together as a family.
I wonder.
Now with the sound,
yeah,
I think I see what you're getting at with the sound here. We are now used to a Ryan Reynolds. Is that what you're talking about?
What I'm getting at.
No,
though we are.
We are used to a Ryan Reynolds.
We are used to a Ryan Reynolds, and when we put it in this position where again they're banking on people having not played the first game, I am like, why don't you reboot then with the things? Because like Pokemon, at the end of the day, I am a huge Pokemon fan, but I also understand that Pokemon is made for kids.
Yeah.
Like the target demographic, whenever there's something that I'm like, this is too childish for me, I'm like, yes, that's because it's made for kids first, and I'm their second, right? Like I'm second demo for all Pokemon content for the most part. So when you're making this primarily for kids, I think just give us a reboot and give it in the way that like the kids know Detective Pikachu.
Make Tim look like Tim from the movie. Right. Make Pikachu sound like Pikachu from the movie. But here's the other thing that kids know. I know a lot of old fans
would be upset.
Here's the other thing that we know from the movie. At the end of the movie, Pikachu turns into dad.
Yeah.
And so Pikachu's dad's fine.
Right.
And so that would mess with the timeline of this game. And I think people are used to... I don't think
they have to exist in the same timeline.
Well, and that's the other thing is I think kids with Marvel and with all the Marvel stuff and all the multiverse stuff that's out there right now, I think kids are used to the fact that Spider-Man in the cartoon is different than Spider-Man in the movie is different than Spider-Man in the
I agree. That's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
I'm saying there is something that they did very smart with having Ryan Reynolds that was a less off-putting combo. Where you still have like, and Detective Pikachu is supposed to be like, oh, it's kind of weird that a full-out man voice is coming out of Pikachu. Like, that's kind of the bit.
He's a gruff, coffee-drinking detective.
Yeah. This is a little unsettling, and the Ryan Reynolds one is not unsettling. It's jarring.
Yeah.
It's not unsettling. It's a little unsettling.
See, I like it.
And I hated the dialogue they chose. Well, let's watch it. I swear, okay. I was like, it has to work now. Are we getting audio to them? Perfect. Let's turn it up a little bit. It's very anime dub.
I'm gonna bring it up a little more.
Okay.
I'm looking for leads on my missing partner, Harry. And it's no walk in the park, let me tell you.
It's like just kind of a...
know more about me?
Kind of a dude.
All right. I guess I can...
All right. I like that Detective Pikachu voice. I know it's not the one from the movie, but...
I know it's not.
But you know...
For some reason, Tim
it's not the same vibe. But he's got... When he talks, you can hear he's got a little bit of friendliness to him.
Dad, if you can believe it.
I think that this VO sounds like it's written by AI. I think that this, like, the writing of this trailer is so weird.
Oh, the writing. Yeah, the writing is very basic. It's basic as hell. Hey, is Mayor Howard the bad guy?
Barely scratched the
Is
surface.
Tim's friend's dad the bad guy? Looks like he might be.
So loud.
Looks like he might be. I don't know.
Let me give you the gist of what me and Tim do.
Feels weird to me, and I never even saw the movie.
Tim talks to the people. I talk to the Pokemon.
As a game, looks very fun to play.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay is going to be fun. I think that I found the voice to be a little like, but I get it. Again, it's a sequel. You know, I get it. I felt like I hope that the dialogue of this whole game is not written like this trailer. I think it doesn't look like a bad game. It looks like a very bad trailer to me, though.
Yeah.
I watched this trailer as somebody who like, hey, we were just talking on Monday about how I am a simp for Nintendo. Like I have a absolute bias towards Nintendo in their favor.
Sure.
This was a really bad trailer.
Right. And I think going back to what you were talking about before, this is a trailer that is to explain Detective Pikachu very simply to children. And I think that's all right. I think the dialogue, I hope the dialogue will be better, but it looks very 2016.
It looks so 2016. And I know that we talk all the time about how Nintendo is not a quality first company. You know what I mean? Like it's not
quality,
about,
but not visual fidelity first, not visual quality first.
I would say even quality's not first.
Well, not with the Pokemon games
Right.
always. Let's say Game Freak and Pokemon in particular.
Yeah. But again, it's like I say this as somebody who Nintendo is my favorite, you know, my favorite consoles are all Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite games are all Nintendo. But with that in mind, hi Sloan, good morning. With that in mind, they're not like, hey, let's get the best graphics, let's get the best quality Pokemon game out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, let's get the most fun Pokemon game out there.
Right.
Let's get the most like exciting Pokemon game out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a great job of that. With that in mind, I think that this looks bad for Pokemon Company.
Sure. I mean, I think
At their
I think
standard.
when you look at when you think about 2016, you think about Breath of the Wild and then you think about Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about the difference between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, obviously Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are both tentpole releases, but
Yes.
even with something like Pikmin 4, like we were talking about, you can see the difference between the Pikmin games.
Yeah.
You can see how much was put into Pikmin 4 into making the world look more realistic, into making everything look a little nicer. This just looks like it's more Detective Pikachu. Like it looks like a very like year one Switch game.
Yeah, I agree.
Have
you played Pikmin 4 yet?
A little bit.
I haven't.
It's good.
I can't believe I haven't. I love the Pikmin franchise. I love them so much. And now I'm all up in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. Did you see that thing I sent you last night? The Baldur's Gate thing?
I was roller skating. Couldn't. I was
So
on
Grumpy
roller
Steve's
skates.
saying fun first is not a bad motto for game development. True. But this game is, I think what we're saying is this game looks very like second tier, even in terms of the fun.
Yeah, I'm complimenting. I like that
Yeah.
as, you know, Nintendo as Pokemon.
Like,
but this
like
looks
Scarlet
bad for
and
their
Violet,
standards.
which we were hoping for a big update for. Scarlet and Violet is simultaneously the most broken Pokemon game ever made and the best Pokemon game ever made.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. And what I was really hoping for, because I ducked out of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
I took off because I got about halfway through the game and I was like, I just don't want to deal with this game anymore. I like playing the game when it's working and when it looks nice.
Right.
I just don't want to deal with this game anymore.
Okay.
And so
It didn't bother me as much.
I just felt like every store had the same shit in every town. You can tell that they wanted every town to have different stuff and they just didn't get there. You could tell that like they wanted the open world to be a little more impressive. They just didn't get there. You know what I mean? And the whole game I was just like, well, what I want to play this after the first major update.
It felt like a Pokemon game to me, so I
Yeah.
think that my standards were held a little bit lower. So this is for the DLC for Scarlet and Violet.
This is the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. It's this, and I think the other one is called like the Blue Mask. We knew that these were coming. And one thing that they didn't say with these DLCs is whether they were doing anything to update engine issues or technical issues with the game.
So it could still happen, but they did not put it in the direct.
Which I feel like I feel like is a big deal. I think any other company but Nintendo, major company. I mean, we've had major companies apologizing for games that have been unfinished all year this year.
Absolutely.
Because we've gotten to the point where everybody is tired of playing unfinished games and broken games. To the point where, you know, you got Phil Spencer saying like, look, man, we pushed it too far.
Yeah.
On quite a few games.
Right.
And they did not come out the way we wanted them to come out. When you have that much going on, for the Pokemon company not to, on this direct, at least say, we've made quality of life improvements. Along with this DLC, you'll see some great improvements to quality of life or to visual fidelity or something. Just make a little something about it.
Yeah. I'm hoping they still will. It feels like it wouldn't be off-brand for Nintendo to not want to talk about it and just do it. Because, again, they're like, hey, let me show you the fun shiny.
Yeah.
And don't worry about it. Akotoroku said we have to hold them to higher standards. They're the most successful media franchise in human history. But again, I do say everyone in this community has to remember we are not the target demographic for Pokemon. As much as I want Pokemon tattooed on my body.
Yeah.
Pokemon is for kids.
Pokemon is for kids,
and
but
we have to stop like hijacking a thing and then complaining it's not for us.
But we also have to be realistic about the fact that if this is the largest and most successful media property in the world, then obviously, like, yes, target is kids, but they are not unaware that about half their audience is not kids.
Do you think it's half?
Oh, I would say.
I wouldn't.
I would absolutely
I think more
say.
than half is kids.
If you see like Pokemon card game tournaments and things like that, like there are kids, but there are just as many adults.
Right.
When you go out for Pokemon Go days, like there are kids, but there are way more adults.
But that's about seeing adults in the world. That doesn't mean that's who's playing it.
That's
because
true.
adults buy the games for these kids.
Well, with Pokemon Go, you have to be out in the world.
Pokemon Go is different. That's a cell phone game, though.
Yeah.
So cell phones are in.
But what I'm saying is, like, when you look at all of these different Pokemon things, everywhere you go with Pokemon, you see just as many adults as you do children.
Again, I think you have to completely separate Pokemon Go from Scarlet and Violet in that adults have to buy Scarlet and Violet for kids, so of course you're going to see them there. And Pokemon Go is a phone app. Phones are for adults for the most part.
But when Scarlet and Violet came out, every single one of my friends that was on social media was playing Scarlet and Violet.
Absolutely, and we work in the gaming industry.
Sure, but
You know.
I have a lot of friends that don't work in the gaming industry.
I'm just saying,
Pokemon,
it's still for kids.
You can't be the biggest. I mean, it's like Marvel or like Star Wars.
Right.
If it's one of the largest media franchises in the world, you can't get that way only with kids.
Yeah.
You can't get that way only with kids.
No, absolutely not.
And so for them not to throw something in, because the Pokemon Presents are not necessarily towards children either. Pokemon Presents are front-facing things. A lot of adults and press watch them, right? That's where like you're going to see all the gaming press. So throwing something in during this Pokemon Presents that says, "Hey, we're tightening it up a little bit."
I would love to see that as well.
You know?
I'm not surprised that Nintendo didn't. I'm hopeful that they put it in with the DLC release anyways when you're doing your update.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at with it.
a shadow update would be nice, but it would also be nice for, especially with the way people are feeling about Game Freak and the Pokemon Company right now after the last few years of releases and the state of 3D Pokemon games. It would be nice for them to acknowledge reality.
Yeah.
I don't think that's weird to think, you know?
And then you got Mew and Mewtwo.
Yep. So this will be, you can do your little raids against Mew and Mewtwo, and that's cool, and I love that. But once again, that's not what I wanted out of a Scarlet and Violet update.
I want both. I don't want them to be like, we give you no new content and we just fix. Give me both.
Give me both.
So I'm not complaining about getting Mew and Mewtwo.
No, but it's just more. It's for me. It's just you're cramming more shit into a broken box.
We don't know that.
You know,
We don't know that.
We don't know that, but I have to assume that until I see otherwise.
I think I feel a little less negative about it. Pokemon Paldea wins. That is going to be a new animated series based on Scarlet and Violet. I think this looks adorable. I love Paldea as a region. I think that this was really cool. I'm so excited that we're going to get to see more of it. We knew that this was an inevitability.
Yeah, so Paldea Wins is going to be one of their anime series that they have on their YouTube channel. They've been putting out a lot of like good stuff on the Pokemon YouTube channel.
Have.
Like they've just been circumventing large media corporation releases and just going direct to YouTube, which I think is so fun.
Yeah.
That also means this will probably be very short form. But I love it. I love the character designs and the animation style in this.
This looks adorable. I think that the art's really, really cool. Big fan.
Yeah.
Want to see my boy Fueg Coco at an anime. Very into that.
Very cool. We also got another cute little Pokemon anime that is for kids. That's coming to YouTube as well. It's called Pokemon Path to the Peak, and it's a very adorable show about a girl who is new to a school and wants to play Pokemon with everybody else at the school, and they play the Pokemon card game, and it cuts back and forth between them at school and then like them imagining what the duels look like. It's a very good. I love the idea of a series based on kids that just play the game.
Cute.
I think that's wonderful.
Super cute. I love it. We got some more releases for the emulators that run on your Switch. We got the Pokemon trading card game from Game Boy Color, and we got Pokemon Stadium on the N64.
Now, if I try to plug the N64 transfer pack into my Switch to take my Pokemon from my Game Boy cartridge and put it into my Pokemon trading card game, does that work?
We don't know.
Probably no. I'm going to say no.
It'd be wild if it
I'm going to
did.
say no.
Probably not.
But this is really fun.
Yeah. Have you been playing any of the classic Nintendo games on your Switch?
No.
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 Stadium 2,
Yeah.
here we are. You know, it's always one of those things where I get excited for these things, but games release so quickly. There's so many games that sometimes it is hard to justify being like, play the trading card game.
Yeah.
From
Here's
Game
the
Boy
thing.
Color on my Switch.
If I wasn't so publicly into emulation and didn't have so many, I'm the little prince of handhelds.
That you are.
If I didn't have so many little handhelds that played all the classic games, I would certainly care more about Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
I simply do not.
Sure.
I simply do not. I love when the good games come out for everybody.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy.
I get that.
You know, when GoldenEye came out and everybody was like, I want to play 4-player GoldenEye with my friends. I was like, do it, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right.
I want everybody to have that. But man, I can't imagine with everything that's out right now, all the games that are out, everything there is to play,
Baldur's Gate 3.
really like dipping into that original Pokemon trading card game adaptation for the Game Boy Color. Cannot imagine doing that.
Yeah.
But I don't have the I'm sure people will, at least for nostalgia's sake, dip in for a day.
Yeah.
You know, because they used to play it so much.
Especially if you already have the online expansion pass, like you might as well.
Yeah. But there's also the latest version of the Pokemon trading card game right here on your gray slab.
On your, what is this?
On your gray slab.
What could this be?
Your gray slab that everybody owns. Is the expansion worth it? Asked Flannel Fries. I think so. I'll say this about Nintendo Switch Online and with the expansion level. We have a family pass because we're family.
Right.
And
Sometimes a family is 2 grown adults with a news show.
That's right. And their producer, who's a dog. And so we share the Nintendo Online with the expansion pack. It's nice to get all the DLC for games. It's nice to get like all the emulation stuff just to dip into every once in a while. It's $40 a year. It's the cheapest of all of these different services.
Yeah.
I'm probably canceling my Game Pass because it's $15 a month and I don't play it enough.
I use the shit out of my Game Pass. I love having my Game Pass. It's not going anywhere for me. But I did cancel my PlayStation.
Now, PlayStation Plus is definitely going.
PlayStation Plus was not something I was using enough.
Especially
right
now. Did you see that they're getting rid of the PlayStation Collection? Do you remember like you would buy a PS5 and you get the PlayStation Collection, had like Final Fantasy 15, God of War, like a bunch of games that you would want for your PlayStation 5. They're just getting rid of that.
Which I think is such a bummer because something like that is so nice to get people started on a console.
Especially when your console is $600.
Right. Like you open up your console and you're like, well, I have something to play.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, a lot of it is like they're older games. They're games that are, greatest hits or they're $20 now or they're PS4 games. And it's nice to just be able to bring a $600 purchase home.
Right.
And be able to play something.
Just sit down and play.
Spider-Man was on that. Spider-Man disappeared for a lot of people.
That sucks.
You got to rebuy Spider-Man now if you want to play it.
That's super
And a lot of
sucks.
people want to replay Spider-Man right now because Spider-Man 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
And Sony knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, for all of their problems, every one of these platforms has problems. Nintendo Online is $40 a month. Or $40 a year.
Yeah.
It's $40 a year.
Yeah.
For a family plan. I just pay it.
Problems in Nintendo?
No.
No.
Everything good.
It's just Mario's dad making nice games for me.
It's just Mario's dad. He just wants the best for all of us.
He's just kind of a nice guy making games for me.
If you play any of the other Pokemon games, Cafe Remix, Unite, or Masters, there was stuff there too. Pokemon Unite, I don't know, has Mewtwo. Everything has Mewtwo now. Pokemon Cafe Remix, you can get the sushi Pokemon.
Yep.
And they can be in your cafe. And then
Which
Pokemon
makes sense. Cute.
Pokemon Masters EX brings in Nimona and Pawmot from the Paldea region. So
Cute.
And of course, Pokemon Go, which Saige tried to skip, but Pokemon Go is very important to everyone.
To Anthony.
To everyone.
Twice a year.
Quaxley, Fuecoco, and Sprigatito are heading to Pokemon Go in
Cute.
September.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Saige.
Baldur's Gate.
The bear fucking game?
Have you made your character yet?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm waiting for you to play with me.
Maybe I'll do it today.
Do it. The BBs want us to stream it together.
It made me, okay.
Even Kaylee downloaded it. Kaylee plays one video game a decade.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
The last one was probably Baldur's Gate 2.
Probably.
The last one was probably Neverwinter Nights, the original Neverwinter Nights for the PC. Okay.
What's going on?
I know it's great.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was streaming it, and I was checking in on everybody's streams.
Uh-huh.
It was all like 2 hours of character creation, and I'm just getting myself ready for that.
It doesn't have to be.
But it is for everyone, and it will be for me.
It's fun.
I know.
I love long character creation. That is not a thing that is off-putting to me. That's extremely appealing to me.
It's very appealing, and it's a very appealing part of D&D. I just got to get myself in a place where I'm ready to do 2 hours of character creation.
I will say it's not like, a lot of sliders and adjusting the bridge of the nose and all of these things. It's like deciding what cool tattoos you want.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
I will adjust the bridge of the nose, though. I will do that for 30 minutes.
You kind of can't. Like, it's not that in depth. Anyways, Anthony, exactly as you referred to this game when I said Baldur's Gate 3 is the reason this is happening. You're the problem.
Hey, Sven Vink said he wasn't ready for the bear scene to go so viral. Buddy, you put a scene of a person fucking a bear into your game, and then you put that into an advertisement for your game. You didn't think that would go so viral? You did not specifically choose the bear fucking? You thought the bear fucking would just be a thing? It's just like, oh, you remember, what do you remember from the presentation they gave? Oh, there was that cool part with the mind flayer, and then I like the design of the horses, and wasn't there something else that happened? No, there was bear fucking, dude. That's number one.
I would like to provide context to you all that the bear's a druid. The bear is a druid.
Sure.
It's not a real bear.
Sure. Listen, a lot of the BBs watch anime. We're familiar with how this works. It's not the thing. It's another thing. We're fine with it.
Right, there's consent.
There's
and that's
consent.
very important.
There's consent from an adult human being.
Right, that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
Kinky with wild shapes? Yeah, fucking do whatever.
Well, that's
cool.
That's part of the reason it went so viral.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it was just somebody fucking a random bear. It's the fact that it was.
It's been taken so out of context. There's a bunch of people who are like, that's fucked up. They're fucking a bear. There's a bunch of people now that just think it's a real bear.
You cannot control that's just the way all media is.
I know, but that's why I'm giving the BBs the context they don't have.
Hey, BBs, did you have that context? The bear is the most jacked elf dad I have ever seen. Yeah.
Anyways, Sven said in an interview that He's been getting text messages, and his son has been getting text messages, who's 17 years old. His 17-year-old son comes to me and says, Dad, people are sending me pictures of bears from everywhere. I wasn't ready for that. I could overhear him going like, yeah, I know, to his friends. Your dad made the bear fucking game.
Hey, how come your dad want to fuck bears so bad? Hey.
It's because of people like you, Anthony.
How come your dad want to have sex with bear all the time?
This is because of people like you. Because of people like you.
Me?
You.
I'm pro bear fucking. Clip it. Put it out there. I don't give a shit. I'm pro bear fucking in this game. I'm fine with it. I think it's cool that they did it. I think it's weird that they did not believe the bear fucking was going to be a big deal.
They said that they wanted a scene that people would talk about, and they wanted to show that it was a cinematic game with characters that have depth to them.
Yeah.
The bear is obviously a druid, and he has a story. He has been around for hundreds of years. He lived with bears for part of his life also, so that's where the bear thing comes from.
Yeah.
Then it's
well, that brings up a question. Doesn't it?
No.
I think
it does not.
Does it?
No, it does not. It's interesting when you start to think about what it meant for him living with bears, right?
Yeah, right,
because there's also
right,
horny
right.
bears in the world.
Right?
It does not mean that he did anything with bears.
Right?
It does not mean that this person, who is a druid, did anything with bears.
He is choosing to appear as a bear.
Yeah. He's observed the bears.
In this sexual situation, he's choosing to appear as a bear.
Yeah. Sometimes furries choose to appear as a wolf.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just furry stuff.
How long did he live with those bears?
Long time. He observed a lot of bears.
Now, does it say observe or does it say lived? Observing bears or living with bears is two different things.
No, it's not. Well, you're living with bears. You are observing bears.
Right, but like...
He lived with the bears. He observed the bears.
A zoologist observes bears.
So does a bear.
But
a bear also observes other bears.
Right, but a zoologist does not live with bears.
He lived with the bears. Stop.
In the cave?
Yeah. As a bear. He lived as a bear.
All right.
Don't make it weird, man.
I'm not making it weird.
You are.
I'm not making it weird. It is simply weird.
Nah, man.
Especially since they chose to bring up how long he lived with bears.
Where he observed many bears. I think that it's perfectly fine.
I think it's fine too. I think it's great. I don't understand what we're arguing about. It's a good bear fucking game.
Anthony.
What?
People have been waiting for this game for years, and you've boiled it down to the bear fucking game.
I've boiled it down.
Yes.
I've boiled it down. The rest of the internet is not interested in this bear thing at all. That's not what this story is about, is how much the internet is into this bear thing.
People like you, Anthony. It's people like you. Anyways,
the world's
it's a great
full of
game.
us.
There's dozens of us.
More than dozens. They're texting that kid.
Just making a never new joke.
I know. They're texting that kid. They're texting his dad. But hey, Sven Hink's kid, if you're watching the show, what's your dad's thing about bears?
Don't bully a 17-year-old. Anthony,
It's just a question. I'm asking a question.
Anthony, how many times?
I'm asking a question.
We've been doing this show for 3 years. How many times have I had to say, don't bully children?
They're so dumb and weak, though.
Hey, that's probably what the Take-Two CEO says about all people who buy Take-Two games. So let's talk about it.
If they weren't there to be pushed around, why are they so pushable?
I try to make transition. I try. You hear me?
Yeah.
Every headline?
I'll push the CEO of Take-Two as well.
There you go. That's an adult. You're allowed to push adults, kinda. Take-Two CEO is responding to the backlash on the PS4 port of Red Dead Redemption 1 being $50.
Yeah, this is the Switch and PS4 port that's coming out. He was asked by IGN while he was on this call, hey, you know this game's like $20 on Xbox, right? You know this game's like, if you bought it for the 360, you can just have it?
And it's an old game. That's why. The reason why is because it's an old game. And now, mind you, this is a port. This is not a remake. This is not even a remaster. It is a port.
It's a port. Now, Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, when asked about this, said, that's what we believe the commercially accurate price for it.
What do those words mean?
That's just commercially accurate.
What is commercially accurate?
What? You're trying to say it like the price is factual? Like when you
that
say
price is just a fact.
That price is a fact. We looked into the science of pricing and it's $50. Read a book, dummy. Commercially accurate?
Rich Bad Game in the live studio audience said that's what the suckers will pay is what their science is.
That's exactly what it is. Now, the EVP of Finance, Hannah Saige, who clearly understands what it's like to communicate with humans, unlike the CEO, said like, hey, Undead Nightmare is also added. And that was a great standalone game in its own right when it was originally released. So we feel like it's a great bundle for a first-time player, certainly a great value for consumers.
And though I disagree, at least you did say it like a person.
Yeah, like at least, but then Strauss Zelnick said, "That's what I said. Commercial accurate, factual number,
accurate,
factual number. Look it up." This is kind of weird. Like,
$50 is too much.
$50 is too much for the original Red Dead, and on the Switch, they're counting on people paying that Switch tax.
Yeah,
these are people who don't play games necessarily anywhere else, or people like us who will buy anything, even if we already own it, just because it's on the Switch and we love our Switch.
Right.
So they think that they can pay, the people will pay the Switch tax for this. I don't think this is going to do super well for them, especially since their last big port, the GTA Definitive Collection, was not great.
No. It was really, really, really bad.
Was not worth full price. And so for Take-Two to be like, honestly, for Strauss Zelnick to say something that is kind of confrontational is really weird.
Bold.
It's very, very bold.
It's hard for me too, because I'm somebody who does not like Red Dead Redemption.
I'm not a fan either.
And I know
I like Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah, sure.
I like the action game.
And I know that it's like one of the biggest fucking games, and I know that people really, really love it. But like, it is beyond that game is not for me. I dislike Red Dead Redemption.
I know, I'm sorry. I like Redemption better than Redemption 2, which I know is crazy.
I don't like either of them. I don't like the franchise.
No, I'm not a fan, but I'll say that I like the original one better than the second one, and I'll say this, it's because Take-Two in the Red Dead Redemption, in Red Dead Redemption in particular, was trying to go for fidelity and realism above all else, and I'm running around as just this slow, dumb cowboy that can't aim. I don't like cowboys anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like the Old West anyway. Like, it's not my thing.
I don't like cowboys. I don't like the setting and aesthetic. But you know what else? I have like a pretty intense bias against this game, and the first one in particular. I have seen less gameplay of the second one, to be honest, because of this. When the first game came out, there was somebody who had married into my family that was a real piece of shit. Like a racist dirtbag piece of shit that was obsessed with this game.
Love to be John Marston.
Shocking, right? And like the things about it that he loved were so disgustingly problematic that I was like, I can't believe this is a video game.
Right.
And I can't believe only garbage, terrible people are playing this game. And that was like the idea I had of it, of like, this guy is Red Dead Redemption.
Well, it's like...
So when 2 came out, I was like, hold on, are we all as an industry excited about this?
It's like the GTA
I won't even say
thing.
the shit he was talking about it. Like, I won't even reference it.
It's like the GTA thing where it's like some people back in the day played GTA and really did appreciate, wow, this is a really huge open world. I can do a lot.
Yeah.
The characters have stories, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people were just like, watch this, I'm going to carjack this guy and then I'm going to fuck a hooker in his car.
Which is so wild because I was somebody who did grow up playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But it was like, I like doing robberies and heists. That's very fun for me. And not like, I want to hit a lady.
Yeah,
you know?
I was the sort of person that was like, can I get the police to chase me up to the top of this parking garage, get them to drive off the parking garage with me, and then I jump out of the car.
Right.
Like, I tried to pull out
can you get into the air base and back out and lose all your stars?
Yeah.
There were fun ways for me that I did. And like, I see that also as like, there is just as problematic shit in like it's fucking Rockstar. You know, like it's Rockstar at the end of the day.
Like, listen, Rockstar comes from a history of like real fucking boys club frat house fucking douchebag humor, and they've tried to grow past that, but it's still in there quite a bit. And also, I just don't want to be a slow man who can't aim and has problems climbing up a ladder.
Yeah.
Like, for all the visual fidelity that like a Rockstar game has, their cover systems, their shooting, their traversal, I'm just like, hey, bud, climb the ladder. And he's like,
Anthony talks about video game characters climbing ladders very regularly.
I do.
I want you to keep this in your mind because it's also the reason Anthony doesn't like playing The Last of Us.
Well, The Last of Us,
one of the other most popular gaming franchises of all time, Anthony every time is like, it's hard to climb the fucking ladders in that game.
Here's the deal. If you are going for realism, fidelity, feelings, humanity, and you want me to believe it, this motherfucker better be able to climb a ladder. I can climb a ladder. The reason that I don't like The Last of Us is in terms of being a game is, number one, he can't climb a ladder. I'm not going to say that that's not a reason. Number two, The Last of Us, for all of its amazing production quality, acting, performance, all that stuff, is very, very Uncharted 2. Can you push the box for me?
He always brings up the boxes too.
Because there's so many boxes.
It's the ladders and the boxes. I was waiting. I want you to know there was a bingo card in my fucking head about this.
It's ladders.
And I was like, it's ladders and it's boxes.
You know what the third one is? Girl can't swim. Put girl on a pallet. Push girl around. This is a bad video game. This is. I mean, it's not a bad video game, but these are.
That's a bold thing to say.
These are bad video game things.
I enjoy The Last of Us.
A good video game, and also their difficulty ramping was incredibly wild in The Last of Us.
Yeah, in the first one.
In the first one, it was the difficulty ramp up after you're like going through that tunnel trying to escape the town was just like, okay, what are you trying to teach me here? Because no other part of the game is as hard as level 2.
Yeah.
This is fucking ridiculous.
I enjoy The Last of Us very much. But yeah, I'll never play a Red Dead Redemption game for that reason. It just doesn't do it for me. I just think it's a little icky.
Rachel Isabel says Anthony loves the classic board game Chutes and Ladders. I do.
Boxes and ladders coming from PixelCircus this year.
Look, if it takes 87 seconds to pick up bullets that are on the ground because the guy just doesn't understand contextually what you're trying to do, then you have not made a realistic game.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah. There's more price gouging news.
But I do want to bring up before we move away from take 2, he did say something very interesting.
Oh?
Our buddy Henrik Hyrule.
What are you saying? What was
the CEO's name? I already forgotten. Zelnick. That's who it is. Zelnick Strauss. Strauss Zelnick. He said that he was asked about mid-generation upgrades. Things like your PS4 Pros.
Yeah.
Your Xbox One X's.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we're heading into like year 4, year 5. What are your plans if these new consoles are coming? We're not asking you to confirm that, updates are coming, but what's your strategy if they do come? And here's what I will say. Dude literally said it. He said, they're not that important.
Well,
they don't make that big a change.
Wow.
They are not a big deal, and we are not worried about them. And as somebody who bought a PS4 Pro, here's what I'll tell you. He's right.
I generally see those like mid-generation upgrades not as, okay, I have my console, I'm going to make an upgrade, but I didn't buy it when it came out.
Yes.
It's a little dated for me to buy that now.
Yes.
I can get in at one that has a little more because I'm, 3-4 years in.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I see that as people who didn't get it at the time.
It's like you don't upgrade your phone every year, you upgrade it every other year.
Right.
I think that's the same thing.
A lot of us are on different other year cycles. Yeah. We alternate.
Now, see, I used to be on what was the S cycle for the iPhone. I was always on the S year.
I skip 2 in the middle usually.
I'm probably gonna skip. I might skip this year too. I have the 13. I didn't get the 14.
I have the 14. So we're on.
Yeah. I might skip the 15 this year. Unless the 15 comes out and they're just like, motherfucker, this shit's got holograms. I think I'm probably fine.
Yeah.
But the PS4 Pro, I bought one. I owned one.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of work with PlayStation at the time. And also I was at that time in my life where I was literally buying every video game thing that came out. That was like what I did with my time in my life. And the PS4 Pro was nice, but I'll say this, it was not a huge deal.
No.
What it was great for was upping, like, I never played games really in their 4K fidelity mode on the PS4 Pro. I would put them in their frame rate mode on the PS4 Pro. It was always nice to get a little bump in frame rate. But is that worth buying another $500, $600 box when it's so hard to get the $600 box already? No. Skywalker wants to know if it sounded like an airport when playing on it. Yes. I had to, if I was going to play it for more than a couple hours, the PS4 Pro, if I was doing like a real game day, I had to pull it out of my entertainment center and put it not on the floor where the carpet is.
No.
But put it like on an open coffee table so it had enough air to just go so loud.
Rip headphone users. I'm sorry. He chose
So
to cup
loud.
that into the microphone. Don't do it again.
We've got the hard limiter on it. Can't go
Still
any higher.
pretty unpleasant sound.
Yeah. Try owning a PS4 Pro. Now you know my pain. It made developers bring performance mode and quality mode to consoles, says SparksV, and I appreciate it for that. Yeah, I like that too. There used to be a fear in consoles where it was like, well, we don't want to give them a mode that like lowers the resolution and ups the frame rate. It's just too much. People don't want that. When they want a console, they want to put the game in and they want to go. I think the choice between frame rate and fidelity is a choice that we should always have.
I agree.
I don't need to have field of view sliders and like PC style stuff on my console. I would like that because I'm that sort of person. But I think being able to choose between frame rate and fidelity
is a
nice
very
choice.
good, and it's like simplified enough that even people who aren't like super into video games can like utilize the difference between those features.
Because I'm very sensitive to frame rate. Some people are, some people aren't. I don't think people don't notice, but I think some people are more sensitive to it than others.
Yeah.
If a game has a low frame rate, I get like really about it.
Okay.
But I don't mind if like the fanciest of lighting is turned off.
Right.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
So I love like a 60 FPS mode, or for some games a fucking 30 FPS mode instead of a 15 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But it's nice to hear a CEO say this because I think a lot of developers last cycle did chase getting like the PS4 Pro, certification. It's like, oh, this game's gonna do this on Xbox One X. And I think they realize it's just not worth chasing down for them. I think what most people are gonna do this time is like unlock the frame rate for the Pro versions of consoles, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the Pro and the One X were just like the biggest waste of time last generation. I didn't see much. Like you're saying, if somebody didn't already own it.
Yes. Same with the OLED.
Yeah. Switch OLED. Every time I see somebody with a Switch OLED, I'm like, damn, that looks nice. Particularly when I was in the park trying to play Tears of the Kingdom.
I bet. Yeah. With the sun.
I kept trying to turn up the brightness on my screen. That brightness was up, baby.
Yeah.
That Switch LCD is not a great panel.
No. And the OLED is probably the only mid-generation I've ever considered buying as somebody who does get consoles when they come out. I've never done the mid-generation upgrade, or I haven't done a mid-generation upgrade since the PlayStation 2. I got the Slim.
Ooh. Wait, did you ever update your 3DS or your DS?
Do you consider those to be mid?
If you went from like DS to DSi or
I
DS
had
Lite.
every DS. I was obsessed with the Nintendo DS. I had the Nintendo DS, I had the DS Lite, I had the DSi, and I had the 3DS.
I love that. And then
I consider those all to be different consoles except for the Lite.
Did you get the new 3DS or did you stay at the regular 3DS?
No, I have the regular 3DS.
Okay, I did the same thing.
But the Lite is the only one in there that I consider a mid-generation upgrade, even though I know it's the same games. The Lite is.
Yeah.
The Lite is the same equivalent as the PS2 to the PS2 Slim. But the I is a different console for me, and the 3DS is a different console for me.
It is, because the DSi brought like the DSiWare and stuff like
exactly.
that.
So you got new games that were only able to be used on the I because of the two cameras on the DSi.
But the DS Lite
it was just
was the
cute
most
and nice.
beautiful little handheld. Ooh.
I had the light pink one.
Of course you did.
It was beautiful.
Ugh.
I love the DSi. I love the DS Lite. The DSi came out in pink as well, but the ugliest shade of pink.
Yeah.
They did like a raspberry pink one for some reason when we had just come from this beautiful like pastel light pink.
Yeah.
Like this
Because that was what was cool at the
DSi.
time. What was cool at the time was like the emo pink. You know, that
It
like.
wasn't even like a hot pink
No,
then.
it was like that purpley pink.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at this like reddish.
That pink was very popular at the time.
I hated it.
That-
I had it and I hated it.
But look at that other one, that coral.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here.
That nice rose gold coral
Pink
that was right
DS
next to it.
Light.
Mm.
Show me that guy.
Mm.
Because this rose gold DS Lite
Mm.
was beautiful.
That's a gorgeous console.
Metallic rose? Come on.
Yeah, I look at the Switch OLED. The biggest thing for me with the Switch OLED would probably be the Ethernet port. I think that's great because sometimes you try to download something for say you're downloading a game that's 40 gigs, the biggest game Nintendo's ever made, Tears of the Kingdom. And it's just like, come back in like 12 hours, bro, I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
But with the OLED, with that Ethernet, it's like, I got you, dog. We're downloading Tears of the Kingdom.
I think the OLED is a pretty good mid-generation upgrade. And I think the only reason that it wasn't revered more as that is because people were hoping for a Switch 2 at the time.
Yeah.
Which was like unrealistic in timeline. But now that we're looking at the Switch 2, I don't feel like I need that OLED.
No, I never feel like I need
can wait
the
it out.
OLED, but
There were times where I thought about it because I never did because there were two.
Yeah.
Technically, there were two mid-generations because there was also the DS, or not the DS,
Switch
the
Lite.
Switch Lite.
Switch Lite's cute. Switch Lite,
It's
I
cute,
think
I
of,
didn't want it.
Yeah, Switch Lite, I think of more as there are two kids at home, or
Yep.
you've got a significant other and you thought you could share a Switch, and then both of you are into a game at the same time.
Right. They don't play a lot of games, but they're going to
Or-
want to play this game.
Yeah, and one of you's a TV player and one of them's like
Yeah.
more of a handheld player. That's a great way to save a little bit money and get two Switches, because you can still get two Switches for less than a fucking other console.
Yeah. Because they're $199. My niece and nephew each have a Switch Lite
Yeah.
because of that. And they're nice little handheld. They came out in great colors.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're lovely. They're
but
cute and they're delightful.
I think anybody who's already thinking about mid-generation stuff is forgetting that we've only gotten like 4 worthwhile games for each console at this point. Like, you're truly people are forgetting that there have been like 4 games for the Xbox and 4 games for the PlayStation,
But that's not the case for the Switch.
but not for the Switch.
But that's not the case for the Switch.
But no, that's what I'm saying is like, there's no reason for publishers or developers to be thinking about mid-generation upgrades for any of these consoles right
No,
now. It's
not
a
really.
waste. It's an absolute waste.
So this all started because we were talking about how overpriced Red Dead Redemption is. And
Yeah.
somehow we got many places. But I want to
Yeah.
come back to exorbitant prices.
Now, last week I got very excited because they were bringing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Street Fighter 6, and the way they're bringing them is through, just through character costumes,
Yeah.
basically.
Which is very cool. I
Yeah.
love that.
So you play as your favorite character or as your custom character that you created in World Tour, and you play as a Ninja Turtle. I think that's fun.
Hell yeah. Except it costs $100 to unlock them.
Yeah, so here's what's really interesting. The cost of all of the extras, if you wanted to get the costumes, accessories, emotes, stamps, all that stuff, sticker sets, all of the taunts. Now, the cost of all of that is 5,300 fighter coins. Now, you can earn fighter coins by doing stuff, but anybody who's played Street Fighter 6 will tell you pay for fighter coins.
Yes. Fighter coins are sold in bundles, though, also. So you can't
Right.
get the exact amount. You can't just be like, hey, I want to buy this particular.
Right. They're doing Microsoft points.
Right. So with that, they're sold in bundles of 250, 610, 1250, and 2750. So in order to get these things, in order to get enough of them, you would need to buy 2 bundles of 2,750 fighter coins, which is a total cost of $99.98.
Whoo! Now, Street Fighter 6 costs $60.
Yep.
70, I think, or 70 or 79 if you want literally all the seasons of characters that they're bringing out.
Yeah.
What? 100? Now, these are not characters. They're skins for your player avatar. So it's for battle rooms and it's for World Tour. That is so wild.
If you wanted to buy a single Ninja Turtle costume, that would be 750 fighter coins.
That's wild. Now, in comparison here, when the Ninja Turtles were added to Injustice 2, you got all 4 characters as their own fighters with their own moves, their own voices, everything.
Which is a big upgrade from just a costume.
As well as 2 extra fighters, Adam and Enchantress. You got all that for $20.
What year did Injustice 2 come out?
It was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. Injustice 2 was a little bit ago.
Just tracking the inflation a little bit.
Yeah. But it certainly wasn't anywhere near $100.
No. No, that's exorbitant, especially because they're just costumes. It's a bummer.
So a single turtle costume would cost you, like you were saying, 750 fighter coins. Now that would
$15.
That would be $15 for one turtle
costume.
Per turtle costume.
That's ridiculous. That's wild.
It's too much.
That's too much.
It's too much. I really, what do you think? What is their thought process on this? Do you think they're just trying something? Do you think they're like, let's go wild and let's try this? Let's see if people do it. Let's really jack up these prices, see if people do it. And then after a couple months, we'll put them on sale. We'll put them on sale. We'll see how many they sell then. And then whatever they sell at, that will just be our price now for tie-in characters. Or do you think this was like Nickelodeon going like, this is how much our characters are worth? Like, where does this come from?
I'm very curious. I think the big thing to see will be to see how much other Street Fighter expansions cost when they do other things. And if this is significantly more expensive because it is an IP tie-in, then we'll know. That doesn't even necessarily mean it's Nickelodeon. This might be the price that they're setting for IP tie-ins.
Yeah, this could be Capcom, yeah.
Right. It's very interesting.
But it's weird because
I'm sure they paid a lot for the license and they're just like, well, we're going to charge a lot for it.
As Trueheart is saying in the live studio audience here, Capcom had really gotten back in good graces with everybody over the last couple of years. They've been pricing things accordingly. They've been doing really well with content. Street Fighter 6 has had an incredibly strong launch. People were loving it at Evo this year. What are y'all doing?
What are you guys doing?
Why are you making me pay $100 for a pizza lizard?
It's very strategic that they sell things in bundles. And this is something we've talked about on the show before. So you need 5,000. You have to buy bundles, right?
I hate bundles.
So it's something they do very intentionally. It's something that you see a lot even outside of video games. I mean, you use a Starbucks card, for instance. If you use a Starbucks app, you cannot just pay for your Starbucks. If you want to get points, you have to reload your Starbucks card, which is the equivalent of a virtual gift card over and over and over again.
Right.
And it can only be loaded in increments of
I think
10, 15, 25.
I think the minimum is like $15 if you reload it on the app.
Is it?
Yeah, on the app, it only has like a drop down. It's like, do you want to put $15 on this card? And I'm like, no.
But by doing that, it has made Starbucks functionally one of the largest banks in the world because of how much of your money sits in holding with them that they get to invest and make money off of.
Mobile games that do, gems, diamonds, things that have in-game currency like V-Bucks, all this stuff is about, well, if we price everything at $8, but you can only buy $10 worth of stuff at a time, you've got $2. And that does a couple things for us. That number one lets us hold on to your $2 and make interest on it and invest it and do whatever companies do with it. And number two, it makes you think, damn, I got $2 on that thing. I don't want to waste that, so I'll put another $10 on. Not realizing you got to put $50 on before it evens out.
Exactly. Hope that eventually you spend the right amount of money where you get to use it all. It's the same thing with gift cards.
Yeah, and no company allows you to be like, hey, I'd like to cash out my points, please.
Right.
I'm no longer interested in this game or buying it. They don't allow you to do that.
Yep.
They don't allow you to do that. Ask any kid's parent who's tried to like call Epic or Roblox and be like, Can
I have the money we put into Robux back? My kid's over this game now.
Nope.
Sucks.
I'll tell you, these new games with their onlines and their mid-generation upgrades and all this stuff, we need to go back to simpler times.
Yeah, Anthony?
We need to return to a simpler time when to play a 4-player game, all you needed was one GameCube, 4 GBAs, 4 copies of a game, 4 specific cables. Easy times.
Yeah.
And 4 friends have tried to do that. They have built the Hypercube, Saige. This is the Hypercube. Do you know the Hypercube is built to allow 4 people in different places to play the original Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all times. If you're wondering what you're looking at is this. You are looking at 4 GameCubes. Each GameCube has a Game Boy Advance link cable, which is then connected into the GameCube. The GameCube is then connected into a Wii through a GMIX, which allows you to play the GameCube version of Crystal Chronicles on the Wii using each of these 4 setups as a controller over a network connected to Parsec. These 4 players are in different parts of the world, but they are all playing on the Hypercube, a single game of Crystal Chronicles. They each have their own Game Boy Advance screen on Parsec and the main game screen.
That's sick as fuck, bro.
That's unbelievable.
I'm into it. I love you, nerds.
It's so good. Now, this is for a charity stream that these guys are doing for the 20th anniversary of Crystal Chronicles. I love it.
Rachel Isabel said the fucking Infinity Gauntlet. So true.
It really is.
Anthony, what color was your GameCube? Which one did you have?
I had the purple.
Yeah.
I always wanted the Spice Orange. Spice Orange was like the goal.
That was not easy to get.
No, it was a tough console to get. They're all over the eBay now.
Yeah.
The trick is to find a Spice Orange one with the digital output.
Yeah.
So you can connect it to a modern television.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
My brother had the purple and I had the silver.
Silver.
Because that was like, there was no mid-generation upgrade really, but the silver was kind of the equivalent of that, of like, his was definitely broken and it had shit spilled on it. So we got the like, he was a little older.
Yeah. Well,
this one was technically mine.
Well, and Silver and Black came out a little later when they found out that American gamers who were in the middle of the generation of gray and brown bloom lighting and shoot man games looked at the adorable purple box with the handle and said, that's for babies.
Silver still had a handle.
That's for babies. And they're like, well, what if we give it to you in electronics colors? And they went, it's for babies, but at least it's less embarrassing.
I like the purple.
I love the purple. I fucking love the purple one.
Recently, I was streaming, and in the background of my stream is my N64, or it was. And I have the translucent green N64, and somebody was like, is that the translucent green N64? And I was
Fantastic.
like, yeah. And they were like, you could sell that for $200. And I was like,
yeah, or I could keep it because it's my fantastic green N64.
it's my fantastic green N64. I know it's awesome. That's why I have it.
Yeah. You could get like $200 for that. Yeah, and then I'd have to buy a new one, which would cost me $200.
Yeah, it's not even like...
That's ridiculous.
We were talking about this morning because we were talking about the One Ring card. And we were talking about how people were like, whoa, I can't believe you sold it. It's so rare. And it's like, that's $2 million.
Yeah. $2 million to Post Malone is, I'm not going to say it's nothing.
Sell that.
I'm not going to say it's nothing, but he could buy it.
Right.
The guy who found it, his name was like Brooks or something, it was just like
life-changing.
That changed my life.
Life-changing. $2 million?
$2 million? All of a sudden, I'm not worried anymore.
Like, oh my God. Of course you sell that.
Literally holding on to the One Ring would make you feel like Frodo holding on to the One Ring. You'd hear the whispers all the time of just like, it's worth so much, but it's mine. But it's one of a kind and it's mine, but it's worth a lot of money, but I should get rid of it. I should get rid of it. No, we should keep it.
I don't think there is any inanimate object I could own. No, there isn't. There is no inanimate object I could own that I wouldn't sell for $2 million.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless it was like a solid bar of platinum worth $2 million. No, I would do it.
Why wouldn't you?
I'd hold out for 3.
But you know what I mean? like not in the idea of it's going to be more valuable, right?
No. I would sell, anything I own.
Unless it's a house you bought for $3 million.
Listen, Dagger, if somebody offered me $2 million, if somebody offered me $2 million for Dagger, I would certainly ask for visitation rights.
Guys, I'm starting a fundraiser. I need $2 million. I need that dog. Guys,
listen.
Let me get that dog.
He wants to live with her.
Yeah.
He wants to live with her.
He'd be very happy.
All he does.
We'd be so happy.
I came in this morning cackling laughing.
Yes, he did.
Because Dagger got out of the car at the studio, jumping, doing like, looking like Tony Hawk, jumping and like doing like 360s in the air and like landing and then like flipping again the other way because he knew Saige was in here.
Dancing,
Saige,
jumping, rearranging furniture.
Saige is his girlfriend.
I'm his favorite.
I just want to show, this is what the layout looks like when you're playing on the Hypercube, and it's perfect.
Yeah, that's dope as hell.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's dope as hell, dude. I love it.
We got to do this.
Yeah?
We got to do this. You got GameCube.
Yeah, I got a GameCube.
I got GameCube.
I don't have my Wii anymore.
Oh, I also don't have a Wii.
I think that my ex-boyfriend stole my Wii.
Wow.
That fucked up,
That is fucked up.
right?
That's absolutely fucked up.
I think my Wii and my PlayStation 2,
Wow.
I want to say.
That's super fucked up.
Yeah.
That's super
I like
fucked up.
unboxed stuff at my next apartment when I moved out and was like, wait a fucking minute.
I feel like Wiis are not expensive, but we'd need 2 more GameCubes.
We'd need.
And then we'd need the Game Boy players.
I don't
We'd
have any
need the-
Game Boys.
We need the card. I have 1 Game Boy Advance. We'd need a lot of stuff.
We're not even close.
But we don't need Game Boy Advances. That's the thing, is you hook it to the adapt. Listen, I'm going to price this out.
All right, Anthony.
I'm going to price this out. Because then
right.
we could also play that good 4-player Pac-Man.
That's true. We also do have emulators of all these things.
Yeah, but think about playing that good 4-player Pac-Man on real hardware. That would be very good.
We were just talking about this earlier. Literally earlier, you were like, I've got emulators.
I know.
Remember that? I remember. Do you remember? Maybe an hour ago on the show?
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of Nintendo Online, I do have emulators, but there are one-of-a-kind things that cannot be emulated.
Yeah.
Which is why I have a Dreamcast and a Saturn and a PS2. I do have emulators.
Yeah.
But I also have all of those consoles.
I know you do.
Super Nintendo. Then I also have a Mister for the ones that I don't own for original hardware. We got to move on. We got to move on to another story.
I think so too. I think we do as well.
I gotta think about my life and my choices.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
all the things that I've done.
Yeah, maybe.
With my life.
Anthony, didn't the new season of The Witcher come out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, babies, any of y'all watching the new Witcher? Honest question.
This is the last Cavill one, right?
It's the last Cavill.
You are the last Cavill.
I just want to ask before we get into this. Any of y'all digging it? Any of y'all watching
anybody
it?
watching it? Is anybody?
Not yet. We got a lot of no's.
I literally fell off after season 1. I don't know why. I liked season 1.
I was so into season
liked it a
1.
lot.
For a minute, season 1 was my personality. I was that into season 1.
Season 1, I had some issues with Yennefer, and then by the end of the season, I was like, cool, it paid off. I don't mind.
I agree.
I don't mind. Yennefer spent the first like 3/4 of the season 1 being the most insufferable character I think I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I was like, cool, yes to Yennefer.
And now she's Yennefer.
Yeah, now she's Yennefer, and like it's cool, and I get that. But boy, oh boy, I just never went back. I was just like, yeah, that was cool, and then I didn't think about it again.
Seth Brower said something I relate to so much in the live studio audience. Said, honestly, my brain does not like focusing on I need to pay attention to at television anymore. The last 3 years has not been a lot of new TV for me. And same.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it. Sloan said, I gotta say,
Hi, Sloan.
I really liked them all being a loving family together at the beginning of season 3, but I haven't seen the rest because I know it can't last.
Right.
I love that arc of them all being a little family. I'm so into that as somebody who's a fan of the games. Hell, I even played the RPG. I played the RPG as a little Witcher family.
Yeah.
I can't tell you a reason I'm not watching it. I have nothing negative to say that is keeping me away from it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And I started season 2 and I fell off of it immediately. I think I watched like the first episode and it wasn't that I disliked it. I just lost track of it.
Well, and it doesn't help. Like when I'm trying to hype myself up for the time investment of watching a television series, it doesn't help when people who are fans of the source material are constantly saying, look what they've done to my boy.
I know.
Which is what people have been saying quite a bit, to the point where to the point where the Witcher fan community, genuinely, there's a huge segment of them that believe the show team simply does not like The Witcher and wants to rewrite The Witcher into something that they like instead of The Witcher, to a point where I think like the showrunner came out on Twitter and was like, hey, I want you to know that we originally did include this thing that happened with this character, but we cut it. And everybody responded, hey man, that thing didn't happen with that character. You got it wrong again.
Ooh, that's rough.
They're like, you keep getting everything wrong. You're not even paying attention.
Well, what's in the news here is that one of the producers of the show came out and was like, hey, we tried to make it more accurate to the books, but blamed Americans and impatient young people for having to simplify the plot.
Oh yeah, sure. You can say that. That's absolutely. It's just the American attention span. Listen, I'm not going to tell you that we have great attention spans, but what I will tell you is we sat through 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, which is what your show is trying to be for Netflix. Mm-hmm. So, and Game of Thrones can move pretty slowly. I don't know if you heard.
I don't know if you've heard this.
I don't know if you heard, but Game of Thrones.
We were pretty patient for Game of Thrones. So a higher level of nuance and complexity will have a smaller range. I tried to explain. There was an uprising in Germany, but the Russians were across the river. And on the German side, there were also soldiers from Hungary and Ukraine. For Americans, it was completely incomprehensible, too complicated, because they grew up in a different historical context where everything was arranged. America's always good, the rest are the bad guys, and there's no complications. When a series is made for a huge mass of viewers with different experiences from different parts of the world, and a large part of them are Americans, these simplifications not only make sense, but they are necessary. It is painful for us, and for me too, but the higher level of nuance and complexity will have a smaller range, and it won't reach people. Sometimes it may go too far, but we make these decisions and accept them.
If you're wondering why he's speaking in World War II terms, this is a lesson he learned from promoting a World War II film that he had out a few years ago. And he was saying, we kept trying to explain the complexity of World War II to Americans and they didn't get it. Which, like, get absolutely fucked. Get absolutely fucked. I need you to take a look at, like, every famous movie that was ever loved by a dad in America. They're all about the complications of fucking World War II.
Did you see that Oppenheimer is now the best-selling World War II set movie ever?
Mazel tov, I guess.
That actually, I find so upsetting.
It's really weird.
I actually find that extremely upsetting that it's about the guy who made the atomic bomb when it's the biggest World War II movie of all time.
Yeah. This is wild to me that we can't understand. Like, you had to explain World War II to people. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you absolutely did
not.
Here's
the thing. Is our historical education really, really bad? Yes, we teach a really, really shitty version of history in America. But hey, The Witcher is actually not real.
Yeah, The Witcher is not real, and it's not World War II, and you don't have to worry about people not knowing what's going on with The Witcher because The Witcher isn't real.
It's not real.
You just tell the story, and if you tell a good, complex story, I think telling a good, complex fantasy story in your fantasy television show is different than trying to explain World War II to people who don't know about World War II. I think you're trying to make an analogy there that just isn't making sense, bud. Your show has been called by people overly simplistic. And so your response to that is
we had to because you're dumb.
Yeah, it had to because you're too dumb. I'm sorry. No, but we're saying it's too dumb for us. Yeah, because you dummies.
Right.
Because you dummies.
If I made it smart, you wouldn't get it.
If it was smart, you wouldn't like it. What? I'm sorry. And also, your show, my favorite episode of your show, is about a man who can't get smooched because he turned into a hedgehog. Get absolutely fucked. Get absolutely fucked. Your show is too complex for me. The hedgehog man was a hedgehog. Didn't want to be hedgehog. Wanted smooches.
It's wild, if I'm honest. That was a very bold thing to say. That was a very bold thing to say in response to criticism of it's not my fault that you don't think our show is smart. It's your fault for not being smart enough for our show to be smart.
If only you were smarter so we could make you the smarter show that you're asking for because our show is dumb.
We would have.
Checkmate, libs. I don't know why I put libs at the end of that, but it just sounds correct.
It does sound correct. You're right. Wild.
It's absolutely wild. And I think Hemsworth the Younger is going to have quite a job for one season.
I'm team they should have just ended the show.
They should have just ended it.
They should have just ended the show. There's so many spin-offs that you're already working on, and there's so many stories within the Witcher universe to tell. Literally just transition it to an adult series story. Yeah. Why did you not just end Geralt's story and give us adult series?
Yeah.
We've had a lovely time with young Cirilla, and the actress who plays her is lovely. Mm-hmm. Just give us adult series.
Yeah.
Do what the games did.
Do what the games did. And also,
do what the games did.
You can't tell us that that people wouldn't watch that. We don't want that story because you already tried to give us a completely unrelated story that people weren't asking for. You can't point at that story, the unfortunate one with Michelle Yeoh, where we all love Michelle Yeoh, but we didn't like that. So you can't point at the Michelle Yeoh thing and go, well, you didn't like that. It's like, well, that's not a character we know. That's not a character we're invested in. That's not the story we want right now.
Adult, Ciri, and Yennefer.
That's it. That's it.
Give us a little tryst. You know what I mean? Like, give us
a little tryst Marigold.
Like,
come on.
Why just being like, no, it has to be Geralt, new Geralt.
Have a freeze frame high five with him and end the series. Slow dog. Yeah. Geralt's like, hey. He looks at Ciri and he goes, Ciri, you truly are a Witcher. That
could have been it. Because here's the other thing. It's not like they didn't know Henry Cavill was going to leave. It wasn't a thing that happened after they filmed that season and they're like, oh, fuck, we didn't wrap it up. They knew he was leaving. He was filming his last season.
Wrap it up, dog.
Wrap it up.
Hey, wrap it up, dog. Don't try to multiverse us with another Geralt. Come on.
Weird.
It's weird. Skywalker also says, don't talk about us not wanting a long, convoluted story when The Witcher is an 80-plus hour game that's entirely side quests.
And it's one of the best games.
All people want are the side quests.
We love the side quests.
Ugh.
We love the bullshit of The Witcher 3.
It's so odd to me when people are getting things wrong and they're in such a state where they can't see what they're getting wrong. I feel like the team behind the Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop was the same way, where it's like, no, we understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's too much of a departure. We understand why.
Yeah.
We understand the problems you're trying to fix. We understand everything you're trying to do with Bebop. We just don't like that.
I thought you liked the live action Cowboy Bebop.
I like it, but it's not Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
I'm a fan of it as its own thing.
Yeah.
But I completely, if you were to go like, hey, which one should I watch? I'd be like, oh, don't watch the Netflix one. Watch the anime.
Yeah.
Pretend the Netflix one doesn't exist.
Right.
Or if you were like, hey, like, I don't like the Netflix one, I'd go, yeah. I'd go, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Rich Baddick Game said, we love reuniting old ladies with their missing pots.
Yes.
That's a Witcher fan.
I do love that.
Witcher fans love to reunite.
That was actually, I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed Geralt's attitude through the whole thing. It was the most like meta funny video game thing. Roach on a roof, says R. Nietzsche. Roach doesn't end up on a roof even once in that show.
Yeah.
That can't be based on anything that we know. Build a hypercube. Live with your friends.
Or get yourself a Stream Deck.
A Stream Deck?
A Steam Deck.
A Steam Deck.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Stream Deck is in front of me.
Get both.
I do think they actually should have not named those things so
I got Stream Decks in front of me. Joker's to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle right here.
Anyways, get yourself a Steam Deck.
Get yourself a Steam. I got a little Steam Deck and I love it.
You do. I don't have one, and I go back and forth constantly. And the only reason I haven't bought one is one, it's a little expensive, and two, it's a little heavy.
It is heavy. I let you play with mine. And you were just like, no.
It looks like I'm holding a television. I'm so small. It's very silly.
It's like
I look ridiculous holding it.
I'm holding it like this, and then it's one of those. It's like a Saturday Night Live sketch where I hand it off frame to Saige, and she grabs it, and she's like, "Oh no,
What is this? How's it so big? It's huge."
I love it. I'll say this: you get used to it, but it is heavier than it should be. It's absolutely
too
heavier
big,
than
too
it should
heavy.
be. But like, if you're somebody who's used to playing a Switch like this in bed, no.
Hit me with a mid-generation Steam Deck.
Now,
Ooh.
there are those that will tell you,
Hit me
Saige.
with a lightweight mid-generation Steam Deck.
Now, Saige, there are people that will tell you that there are various machines out there that are those things, like the Aya Neo, all these different things that are essentially upgraded new chips, upgraded GPUs, lighter, faster, stronger, better.
Yeah.
They're a little more spency. And that's the trick.
Because Steam Deck is already incredibly expensive.
Yeah. Well, I got the 400 boy, which is a lot of money. But that was the least expensive boy.
Right.
And then I opened it up and I put my own sneaky little SSD into it.
And there you go.
So it will hold a lot of games.
Well, the reason we're talking about the Steam Deck is Valve is doing certified refurbished Steam Decks and selling them about 20% off. So if the price was out of your range by 20%,
20% is not nothing.
it's not nothing. A lot of the time that
20%
ends
off
up
a-
looking like tax, though.
Yeah, 20%
you know.
off a $400 thing is, $100 or almost $100.
Yeah. So the 64, 256, and 512 models are all going to be available.
The 64 is only $320, which puts you like around Switch price.
Close to Switch price.
Close to Switch price.
There we go. Here's all of them. 64 for 320, 256 for 420, and 512 for 520.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad for what it is.
320 is not bad.
I will never tell you that a Steam Deck is a cheap thing or a needed thing,
Yeah.
but that's a good price for what it is.
I mean, if you're going to get a 64 gigabyte, that's so small. You'd have to put an SSD in
Put a little SSD in there.
How difficult was it to put the SSD in?
Not difficult. And the SSDs, they used to be very rare, but now that everybody has Steam Decks, you can find them everywhere and they're much less expensive.
Yeah.
They're like $60. So you should figure it would cost you like $380.
Right.
Still under $400 to have,
How big of an SSD did you put in?
512. So it's just as big as the biggest one.
Okay, all right.
I was
Not
going to
bad.
put in a terabyte, but they were still like a little too expensive.
Yeah.
They were still like $200. And I was like, that's not worth it.
No,
I just
that's
put
not worth
I
it.
just put a big SD card in it.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So these are going to be sold through GameStop. It would appear primarily. And again, they are certified by Valve in their refurbishment. So usually that's helpful. It's not just buying a secondhand Steam Deck.
And I'll tell you what, Valve's got a great customer service with the Steam Deck. I've known a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I've known a few people that have had problems with their Steam Decks. And they're just like, Valve's just like, yeah, send it in. We'll send you a new Steam Deck.
Right.
They don't ask a lot of questions. They're just like, yeah, fine.
Currently, these units are only available for GameStop Pro members, though.
What is that? Does that cost money?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Get out of here.
GameStop Pro.
What do you get for that? Do they make you take a
Get, like,
Funko Pop
points and shit.
They make you they let you leave without buying a Funko Pop if you're a GameStop Pro member. If you're a GameStop Pro member, they don't hand you 4 Funko Pops on your way out.
Okay. GameStop Pro.
That's got to be just like their new name for whatever like their rewards card is.
It
right?
exactly is that. 100% is that. And I don't know if it's like, okay, so it's $25 a year. Which is not very much. You get $5 off all pre-owned.
Woo! $5.
Sorry. No, you get 5%.
There you go.
So much worse.
5% off all pre-owned. 5% off collectibles.
5% off.
It's 5% across the board. It's just 5%.
5% off GameStop brands and 5% off of protection plans.
Now wait, what does it say by pros get $5 every month? Oh, you get a $5 monthly pro reward. So
off one item.
So that's $60 in annual savings. Yeah, sure. If I buy one thing a month from GameStop. When was the last time I went to a GameStop?
Right, because here's the thing. You're like, well, I got the membership. I got to go buy something at GameStop.
Yeah. No.
You get Digital Game Informer magazine.
Isn't that just the blog? They don't have a real Game Informer magazine anymore. That's just GameInformer.com.
Yeah.
I have GameInformer.com.
Hey, as a welcome for giving them $25, you get $10 in rewards.
Okay. So you pay $25. The first month you get $15. Okay.
No,
So yeah, because you get a $10 welcome.
I think the $10 welcome is instead of $5. Because it's a $10 instead of $5. So you get like 5 additional, I think.
Oh, so you don't get 15 the first
because
month.
the additional 5, the and 5 is a renewal reward if you're coming back. Your second year, you'd get 15.
What?
$10 at the start for giving them $25, and then 5% off of collectibles and
Oh,
clearance.
Tybor 2 says my friend goes and buys a $10 PlayStation card each month with that $5 off.
Chaos.
That's
Listen, commitment.
That's
borderline extreme
This
couponing.
is a lot to get 5% off a controller that's covered in some sort of sticky filth you can't identify. A Mad Catz controller covered in some sort of goo. And 8 Funko Pops. They make you leave with 8 Funko Pops.
You have to.
You have to leave with 8 Funko Pops.
You have to.
Because they don't know how, but they're just multiplying. Every time they come in, there are 19 more Funko Pops.
5% off of collectibles, Anthony.
Ooh. Backpack clips. They got those Sonic the Hedgehog backpack clips.
You know, those backpack clips.
Jesus.
So if you do happen to be a GameStop, hey, actually, tell me. If you are, you have to tell me.
If you're a GameStop.
Are you a GameStop Rewards member? You have to tell us.
Yeah.
You know what? I think our merch store can run coupon codes.
Yeah.
If you're a GameStop Rewards member, I'll give you 5% off in our merch store. You just have to message us.
Yeah. If you send us proof that you're a GameStop Pro member, we'll give you 5% off.
Message one of the PixelCircus accounts. Proof that you're. We're not telling you to sign up. You have to already be one.
Yeah.
Don't go sign up. For
Don't
this.
go
It's
sign
not
up.
worth it. It's not a $25 joke that we want you to do.
If we see that you just signed up, you actually have to pay 10% extra on our merch store. We're going to give you a promo code that makes you give us $5.
We just think that if you are already paying GameStop $25 a year and only getting 5% off at GameStop, you're not getting enough. And I would like to compensate you for that.
Yeah.
With 5% off on our merch store to make your benefits worthwhile.
We just want to give you a little something for having to experience the pain of going into a GameStop once a month.
Yeah, don't make this a joke.
Don't do it for the bit. Do not join GameStop Pro for the bit.
Don't do that. Give us $25 instead.
Yeah, join our Patreon instead. You get so much more on our Patreon.
You get way more on our Patreon than you do as a GameStop Rewards member. So if you're going to spend $25 for the bit, join our Patreon.
Join our Patreon or donate here. Do something. Don't give that money to GameStop. They're just going to put it into NFTs or something. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
Hey, but you know what you should do? You should continue to have a lovely day, BBs. Thank you for joining us this morning. And we want to thank everybody who, I saw a lot of people retweeting this morning. I really appreciate it when y'all retweet when we're going live, sharing it with friends. Telling buddies about the show that might enjoy it is honestly the best thing you could do. That makes us so happy.
It's very cool of you.
Joining the Discord is wonderful. It's a great place to hang out. Lots of lovely people there.
Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Can't make the show live? Go check it out on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Check it out on YouTube. Why don't you go check it out on YouTube? I don't know. Why not?
I don't know. Let's go through and let's thank everybody. But first, Anthony.
Yeah.
What else are you up to this week?
Oh, you can find me everywhere at a Carboni here on the internet. And as far as what I'm up to this week, I don't know, man. It's so hot outside. What about you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. And we're going to be doing a special stream here on Friday.
Special
Look
stream?
for an announcement. We failed saves offline, so we're going to play some games on Friday.
Special stream?
There will also be big announcements this week, so keep an eye out for the channel. There are some huge announcements coming out this week of fun activities that we have planned.